Hey everyone, welcome to episode 13 of Speak Podcast. Thank you everyone that is in the chat right now. We appreciate you being here and we love you guys, okay? Just wanted to let you know. Today we have, of course, my co-host, the one and only Luca.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh my gosh, she's...
That's another check in the mail, by the way.
And
man.
Oh God. We also have our guest for today, XBot 448.
Let me do it right. Hold on. What's going on, people?
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's the XBot 448.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, do the whole thing. Yeah, go for it.
All right. One more time. What's going on, people? It's the XBot 448 invading Speak Podcast. Ladies, I am really excited to be on this show. I can't wait to get into these deep topics with you.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, XBot, that when I first started getting into the community, like when I first started listening to all of you guys, like Mooch Crap, all you guys, you really stood out to me. I thought the whole "what's going on?" I thought that was so cool. I remember saying, "Oh man, that's really cool. That guy's awesome." I remember thinking that when I first before I, started talking to all of you. So
now you don't think that anymore? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I still think it's cool. You still hear me doing it. So
no, I got pulled down just to the regular, ordinary pool of people now is what's going on. I got you, but Luca, ever since you showed up on MNC in the mornings and stuff, you became a staple in the gaming community, and I absolutely love that because you give zero shits and you speak your mind, and I think we have to do that. We have to have our opinions, we have to share them, sprinkle it with common sense, which you do a lot, and it's good to see that out on social media and stuff when it comes to people talking games and stuff like that. So
facts.
We're super happy that you decided to get on the show, and hopefully we can learn some more about you other than gaming stuff, because I get sick of that shit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys.
Condone this message or support it or endorse it. I don't feel the same. So.
No, but it's really cool to get to know our guests deeper than the surface, and I'm glad that you're willing, and I'm glad that we have some interesting topics today for you all. So let's start with questions. As you guys know, we ask random, silly questions sometimes of our guests just to break the ice and, get to know them a little bit. Our first question is, what is your favorite form of exercise?
Yeah. Form of exercise, and I know this can go a certain way, and I see snaps in the chat, so I'm gonna keep it a little more family orientated here. I got into playing football in high school, and I was a big dude, and I started lifting weights, and that actually is my favorite form of exercise. I haven't done it in a while, but our oldest son is turning 14, and I'm bringing the curl bar over from his grandmother's house, and I'm trying to get him kind of situated in that, because I love the feel after you do a weightlifting workout. You'll work on shoulders, arms, stuff like that. I love the feeling, the burn afterwards and stuff. And that's what I was addicted to. I used to do it 4 or 5 times a week. And I know you're supposed to do it one day, take a couple of days off or whatever. But I just got like I said, hooked on it. And I used to lift like 5, almost, every day a week. So 5 out of 7, and it was a lot of fun, yeah.
Are we gone? Are we done?
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. My favorite form of exercise is sex. Next question.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What?
So she likes cardio, is what she's saying.
Yo, you gotta work that hard somehow.
Burning the calories, strengthening the heart, all that.
That means
stuff.
Luca likes to put in that work. Okay, moving on. That was weird. Like, I did not expect that. My virgin ears are like truly affected. I do not enjoy this picture that is in my head right now. We're gonna just move on.
You'll never see the world the same again now.
Oh my God, I'm like, I feel so like I need to sit in a corner and just think about things right now because this is too much. My favorite form of exercise, I enjoy doing squats. Not only because like they fucking hurt after a while and you feel like it's doing something, but you're not really, it's not that hard to do. You know what I mean? So like, like squats are so easy for me, but at the same time, if I feel it the next day, depending on the number that I do.
Yeah, you can't walk. Yeah, like
Yo.
I used to hate doing legs. Like that was the thing. Like I said, I played football, so they put us through Hell Week. They had us running up and down the bleachers like 50, 60, 70 times, like in one day and stuff, and just like working on the legs. Oh man, the next day, like I would crawl out of bed like to the shower and stuff.
But it's like so fulfilling though. Like it hurts and it sucks, yes, but like if you don't feel that after, it feels like you feel like you didn't do enough, you know, as a workout. And so I feel like, you know, it's, I don't know, I like it. And you know who doesn't like a nice booty? It helps you with the glutes, man. All right, moving on. What?
Damn, I got work on that. Yo. Hold on. I'm gonna have to put that in my
100
resume.
squats a day. Go. Next question is, what makes you laugh the most? So XBot.
Oh, snaps.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yo, oh man, it's so funny. If you guys ever catch us on our live streams and stuff, I know. I think it was Iceman who said like you guys arguing was better than the stream itself. And what he doesn't realize is we're pretty much like that on a daily basis. You know, every relationship has its ups and downs. You know, we get mad at each other and stuff, but pretty much on a daily basis, like we're cracking jokes, making fun of each other, like all day long. And it's so funny, you know, calling each other names. It makes every day interesting. It makes every day fun. And yeah, and then you put her together with the kids. Like there's one 9-year-old twin that we have. His name is Seth, and he will come up with the most random stuff to say. Like I'll get into it more when we come to the stories and stuff. But our household is never dull. There's always something kind of like funny going on as well, and it's a lot of fun over here. So
Like that. Okay, so. Me personally, and I get made fun of for this, but I feel like physical humor is something that I laugh a lot with. I mean, okay, it's sad to see someone get hurt. Yes, you want to make sure that they're alive. Jeez, but like, if somebody busts their ass, in front of me, like I am dying laughing. If I find out that they're alive, like I'm just gonna like, come on, that shit is hilarious to me.
Wow,
like,
that's scary.
Even if I fall and like hurt myself, as long as it's not like a serious, because you know I will fucking scream if I hurt myself really badly. Mm-hmm. But if I like fall and I'm fine, like I just start dying laughing, and then everyone starts laughing around me, and I'm like, wait, are you guys laughing with me or at me? Because like we're gonna have a problem if it's, you know, one of them.
That's funny. That just happened to me like just about a week ago. I was running into the gas station. And I was running back out. Me and O Snaps, we were pressed for time. She was going to a bridal shower, and I'm trying to run to the car. And I had on my older sneakers that I don't lace up. So I'm running, and all of a sudden I start stumbling, and I feel my shoe falling off, right in the middle of the gas station. Like my feet kick up. I'm straight in the air, and I just slam down, like right next to the car. And I got into the car. I'm like, oh man, I skinned my knee up. Yo, wow. She's laughing right now.
Man, Blue savage, man. Like I didn't know anything about this.
I'm trying not to, but he said he almost lost his shoe.
She heard me hit the ground, but she didn't see what happened. Mm-hmm. And then I could like drag myself into the car. I'm like, man. And she's like, are you okay? What happened? And I was like, after I said I fell and she knew like I was okay, she started cracking up in the car. Like I turned red.
Yes, Mal. See, we get it. We get it. It's just so funny. Like I even like, oh my God, I get tears in my eyes. Yeah. So what makes you laugh the most, Luca?
Myself.
Oh God, of course. Of course, you have to be the one.
I find myself hilarious. I don't care what anyone else says. I like memes a lot. I think memes are hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I, I I don't know. I get a chuckle out of that stuff. I get a chuckle out of stuff that most people wouldn't find funny.
Oh,
I mean, I guess that's not true because memes are popular, right? But I find that stuff great. All Day makes me laugh a lot. That dude is hilarious. My friends make me laugh. And when we're going back and forth with just cracking jokes, that's a lot of fun.
that's
I
cute.
like laughing. I like having fun with people. And I mean, like I said, I make myself laugh a lot. So that's fun.
Luca, I'm kind of in the same boat with you about like I make myself laugh. Don't you feel disappointed in other people when you come up with something that you feel is absolutely hilarious and they're just looking at you with the stink eye and they're not laughing at all? They didn't think like I get disappointed in the people around me.
Oh my God, dude, me too. Like I'm like, this is quality. This is genius, and I'm cackling. It like usually happens with Blue. I'm like, I tell her something and it's hilarious, and she's just like, oh God, or she's like, Lord, ugh.
Ew. Are you quoting me?
Are you quoting me with that L?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on. I don't know why, but I feel like we affect each other a lot. Oh, spending so much time with you.
No. Not enough time is there. If
Anyway.
anything, you need to spend more time with me so you can develop my sense of humor. And
Nobody-
eventually,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna get to a
fucking
point.
sense of humor.
You're
What the
gonna
fuck
get
you
to a
talking about?
point.
I don't
You're gonna get to a
understand what is
point.
happening right now.
You're going to get to a point where you're going to be like hanging out by yourself, getting ready to do something, and you're going to like just start laughing at something stupid, something that I would laugh at. And then you're going to be horrified because you'll be like, she's affected me
Oh God.
too much.
Oh God. Let's just hope that doesn't happen because I will be like, I would definitely need to sit in a corner and think about my life at that point. I'm just saying.
rocking back and forth a little bit.
Like,
you know?
why? Anyhow, what would you sing at karaoke night? I'm interested in this question, XBot. What what would you sing, and would you give us a preview?
Oh man, see, you didn't say anything about a preview in the DM, okay?
I'm just kidding.
All right. No, see, this is interesting to me because I listen to all types of music. Like I get inspired by like each and every category of music. Me and my friends, we used to get together. I was kind of I was part of this kind of like basement rap group, right? We used to write our own songs and stuff like that. So we used to go to karaoke, and we would go in. There was a lot of Eminem, there was a lot of Dr. Dre, stuff like that. I was the one doing the Dr. Dre parts. So I guess I gotta say, when it comes to karaoke, anything by the infamous Dr. Dre, I would be happy to go in on karaoke. But see, I can't give you a preview right now because in the tradition of the karaoke, I have to have at least 3 shots of whiskey before I start singing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, that's funny. Yeah, I see. That's the funny thing. Like I do karaoke. Well, we call them sing-alongs on Twitch, and my viewers request music for me to sing along to, and I don't understand why they enjoy it, because like I cannot sing, but that shit I just go in, and I'm like, and so so far right now the song that I was like super hyped for was Selena Como la Flor, and I don't understand why, because like I hated that song when I was younger. My mom used to always play that shit to make us like clean the house. So we always had to listen to like all these like Spanish songs and all these like weird slow love songs. And she would just like belt out and like sing about like heartbreak. And I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? Get your shit together. But yeah, I didn't say that out loud, guys. Just saying.
No, we all heard it. We all heard it.
But no, I don't know. I just love the songs. I guess because maybe I understand them more. And so I sing that shit like I was like feeling it, and I can't sing, so whatever. And I don't need any whiskey or anything to get me started. I just do it.
Well, I sing at home on a daily basis. Like I'll sing. There was like a '90s kind of like grunge band called Bush, and I'll sing songs like Machine Head and Come Down and stuff like that. And when I wasn't on face cam for the rock out that I do just about every Sunday, like I would be singing while I was playing the guitar on Rock Band and stuff.
You should totally sing. Why not?
I don't know. I get I don't know. I get so into it that like there will be times that I'll be singing. I know the words, but I'll mess them up because I'm also trying to focus on the guitar.
Yeah.
So I don't want to show people that. You know what I'm saying? So I figure I do enough with the guitar. But I know me and O Snaps did this like karaoke thing with Rock Band one time. I know Supersonic Station, another YouTuber out there, he absolutely loved it when we did it. Hopefully we'll do more of that too.
Nice. So. That's cool. What about you, Luca? Doing some karaoke?
Karaoke?
What song?
If I did karaoke, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Just one song? Just one song, that's it?
Yeah, man. That song's a classic. It's all amazing.
Well, it is like 20 minutes long, so.
Yeah, I love that song. And then so many other people can like jump in with you with that. That song's awesome.
Maybe one day Luca will come to the city and we'll do some karaoke together.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'm gonna be super drunk when we do that.
Sounds good to me. All right, let's move on. Of course, we have our next topic, which is our lighter topic, but of course we might get into it. Who knows? This topic was sent to us by one of our viewers, which of course, guys, we love it when you send us topics. So definitely go for it in the comments below. Send us what you believe would be a good topic to talk about on Speak. If you feel like it, no pressure, no pressure. Today's topic is, what's the best way to put up with your ex when she is the mother of your child, but you know she's bad for your child? I know specifically XBot has experience with this, which is great that we have him on the show. XBot, tell us a little bit about what you're dealing with.
Well, just like, I mean, it was about 2 years ago. My son actually came over to this house. He was under, he had custody. His mom had custody of him, right? And I've dealt with her for a long time. My son's 14 now, so it wasn't until he was like 12 years old. DCF got involved in a situation in her house, and he could not live there, so he came to me and O Snaps, and it's really hard to deal with a parent when you know something is wrong and your child lives there. And unfortunately, at least in the state where I am, I mean, you can go and try to do things in the court, but the state of Connecticut is very like mother centric, and you can kind of try to prove yourself to be the best parent in the world and stuff like that, but you're automatically at a lower level because you are the dad in Connecticut, and it gets really rough. But he was brought over here. She got into a very serious drug problem, and I didn't know anything about it. I kind of speculated throughout years, but I had no proof. And like I said, the way the court system is put in place and stuff, if you have no proof and you're going against the mom, you have no chance. So eventually it got so bad that he saw something that happened to her where she passed out. There was actually blood coming out of her nose from the drug that she was using. And he finally let his counselor know in school what was going on and what he saw. And he was able to come to my house. And that was only temporarily. I went through 2 years of court after the fact just to make sure that he stayed in a safe place. But when it comes to dealing with the other half, you know, first of all, you got to look at your life, all right? And you got to, the kid is the most important thing, all right? And I realized that my son, when he was born, absolutely changed my life. I mean, I was into, I was a street pharmacist. I was all about like money and stuff like that. And it's funny that when a smaller version of you comes into the world, like your perspective on everything changes. So since he helped me better myself, like I put it on myself to do everything possible to help him. But advice, in terms of advice, while you're doing this, while you're focusing on your life and trying to make sure you got everything stable stable with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
there, couple key things is you got to remember the kid is stuck in the middle, right?
Right.
I see a lot of parents that have no problem basically talking shit about the other parent right in front of the child. That is absolutely no good. All right, you got to show to be the one that's kind of like better off. You got to like never kind of badmouth the one that they're living with. Never badmouth the other parent in front of them. It shows that you're more stable. You got to remember, in a child's life, the grown-ups around them, that's their whole world. They have a very small world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what we do, they absorb, and then they kind of use that. They act like us. So if you're like talking shit about the other parent or whatever, eventually they're gonna start doing that same thing, and they're gonna get themselves into more trouble. You're gonna look just like them if they're talking shit about you as well. And it's really rough, man. I see people in the chat talking about child support. Child support courts are they're crazy. They're the balance over there. It doesn't mean anything. Like I've been to court so many times for child support. As soon as you get like 1,500 under, the other parent can bring you to child support court, and they don't care about anything except that money. They don't care if the parent that the kid is living with is working, has a stable life, or anything like that. All they care about is the money that you owe that person. And unfortunately, if you're dealing with child support,
Mm-hmm.
you have to look at it as a debt collection court, and you can't look at it as anything that is in the benefit of your child, because they don't look at it like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah, I know. I could keep going too.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a really big topic. It's not something that should be taken lightly. Those of you listening, it's I think it's important to remember that there are like XBot said, there are children involved, and you have to kind of put their needs before yours sometimes. And I think that in these situations, people often try to get more, like they try to get revenge by using the child, and that alone is not healthy for them, you know.
It's so sad, because the way society is right now, and like I'm seeing people talk about support court and stuff like that. There is a lot of people out there that use children as kind of like a money token, and whether it's kind of like taxes or whether it's dealing with the other parent, it's like, well, there's a certain amount of money that's coming to me, and it's kind of unfortunate that people do look at it like that, because I think then the care of the child gets lost in that haze.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, like if you can work with the other parent, you do the best you can. I know you're gonna have to swallow some shit sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but you do have to child first in terms of them not being right. If it's anything that it's like what they're teaching them in terms of the structure for their life. Like I know that my son's mom, and I don't agree with this. She is I guess you could say kind of like a right-wing Republican, was into Trump and stuff like that. But my whole thing,
Okay.
my whole thing with this is I try to teach him like the values in life of treat people the way you want to be treated. She was very rough on him when it comes to school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I feel that success is more than just grades.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like really telling him good job for his attitude and what the teachers are saying for his attitude, and then telling him he needs to work on grades, she would just completely focus on that. So it's up to us as a parent, even though the other one might be teaching fundamentals that are different, to try to teach the right ones to them as well. You see what I'm saying? And let them know that different grown-ups believe different things. But what you're teaching them, you feel is the right way to be a successful person. you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean, man. I have a question. Well, not even a question, more like a comment. I feel like in a lot of situations, the court favors the mom, you know, and I'm not sure why that is exactly. Maybe it's just the way the society is and how gender roles go, but I feel like that's unfortunate because there's been a lot of situations where there are really good dads and the moms are not good for their kids, yet there's nothing the dads can do about it, really.
So what was the question to that? Because I totally agree with you.
No, it wasn't really a question. It was more like a comment. I had a question, but I forgot it. So.
Well, when it comes to that whole thing, I think it's really unfortunate. I know there's something out there called stereotypes, right? And when stereotypes kind of get into places of law, like a courthouse, like a support enforcement courthouse and stuff like that, it is really hard to try to beat that door down to show that you are different than the stereotype. And unfortunately, a lot of times, like I was dealing with child support court in a city, right? City of Bridgeport in Connecticut. It is not the nicest place in the world. So there is a huge amount of like child support cases. So I know like the judge and the prosecutor, all that stuff, they see kind of like a pattern in a lot of it. Like, oh, this person's doing this, or this person's the father's hiding funds, and the father's trying to live this, and the father's trying to do that, and so when a father comes out that's really trying to do what they can for their kid, and it's really hard because they're always getting dragged into support enforcement and stuff like that, and they can't really get a leg up. It is really hard to crush through that stereotype of guys just want to, stick their wick in anything that moves and party and all that good stuff. It's hard to bust through that stereotype.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I think there's been a lot of instances where people just take the stereotype and run with it and don't consider the actual person behind the gender, I guess you can say.
Yeah, I feel when I was growing up, it wasn't my mom that was the absent parent. It was the opposite, my dad. And based off of that experience, I can say that as a child dealing with that, it affected me. And when I was younger, I didn't know, but I was very angry. And I was angry because my parents were always fighting. And while some parents try not to let their children see it, children can tell. Children are aware. They're very aware of what's going on around them. And so it's important to remember that even if you're trying to hide something from them, they'll be able to sense that there's something going on. And so when you try to navigate the landmines that is, being parents to a child but not being together, it's important to sort of try and put yourself in the position of the child, so that yes, while you two are not being together will affect them, there are ways to handle things so that they aren't affected as much, if that makes sense. I definitely know that there are things my mom tried to protect me from that I found out later on as I got older, and those things I appreciated because it could have changed the person I became. If you have a child, you are building a person, they will be a reflection of your parenting in the future for the most part. Not always the case. But it's important to keep that in mind. And even if you are the parent that, let's say you feel like you're not the problem, if the other parent you feel is the one with the problem, and you're trying to do the best that you can, like, don't give up. That's important, because I feel like, at least as a caregiver and a future educator, that children can tell, even if they don't outright say it. For example, I used to tell my mom I hated her all the time, like I wasn't exactly very nice to my mom as a child. But now that I'm older and I realize, the situation, I appreciate her, and she knows that I appreciate her for everything that she's done. And it's important to remember that pinning your child against another parent, it's not healthy. And if you're the one being pinned against, like, don't give up just because you feel like they're listening to that other parent, you know? Those situations,
Exactly.
yeah, those situations are hard to navigate, I'm sure. But the children eventually will realize when they are older what's going on. And if you're gone by then, you're going to miss out, you know? If you keep trying and keep fighting for your kids, that makes you a good parent.
You know, a lot of things in life, this is kind of like something I believe in fundamentally. When it comes to situations and stuff like that, I point the finger at myself a lot, and I try to think about what I can do to make things better. Now, when it comes to, you know, people being apart but having children, I've seen this a lot where they use kind of like that connection, the child, as a chain, and they use it to punish the other person for not being there, for not for kind of breaking off and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And I think we as adults, right, we have to put those feelings aside. We really have to focus on why we do things, whether you're the antagonist or even sometimes the protagonist. So either you're the one starting shit or you're the one trying to defend yourself or your child. Like, you seriously have to look at yourself and see if there's any emotions in you that is making you kind of lash out in that direction as well. Because if you're just also mad that the relationship ended, it's going to affect like what you're doing in terms for your child, and it's going to have an influence over what directions and what things you think are right moving forward in dealing with the other parent. So a lot of things you have to kind of focus in on yourself and see, why are you getting mad? At the surface, you know, you can always say, well, I'm getting mad because, you know, she's putting my child through this or she's putting my child through that. But you
Mm-hmm.
got to really search inside yourself to see if there's any kind of like animosity that you guys just couldn't work it out either.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen a lot of couples a lot of ex couples put their children in the middle of that, and they use it to try to punish the other person for not being together with them anymore. We can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good advice, XBot. You know, it's important to think about your kids in these situations because, you know, whether you mean to or not, a lot of things that kids go through when they're growing up and the things that their parents put them through, even if a comment seems, not um, hurtful, there's a lot of insidious remarks that can be made that get into a kid's head and affect them later on in life, you know, and it can affect the way that they treat their future partners. And it's just important to be mindful of those kinds of things when you're raising a child. You have a responsibility to them and to the people who are eventually going to be in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that for the most part, I feel as though you are doing a really, like, your mindset is really good, where you're thinking about the child, you know, and you're not thinking about, oh, this person.
It's hard. Yeah.
It is. I'm sure. I mean, it's hard not to want to be angry at someone, you know, and it's hard not to want to take that frustration out on the parent that is, you know, not being involved and all that stuff. Like, it's a lot of pressure to be the responsible person for a child, you know, like, you alone. And, you know, I mean, of course people might think that it's not the case, but you know yourself that you're the one that they're going to rely on, the only one, for the most part. And while, you know, you have that in the back of your head, you can't tell that child, like, listen, you know, you can't trust your mom or you can't trust your dad. Like, don't, you know, because that poisons their mind in ways that you may not, you know, understand. It's never a good thing.
Then all of a sudden you're attacking that person
Exactly.
in their eyes, and then all of a sudden, like, you're in their world, in their small world, you become the aggressor. I have dealt with so many things with my son's mom. She used to put him on the child support enforcement hotline with her. She used to tell him exactly how much I owed her, she used to tell him, like, if we went out and did stuff together, like I took him for maybe ice cream or something like that. I was a seasonal worker for a long time, so there was a few months where I didn't work, and those were the few months where my child support racked up. But if I took him out to do something and he came home happy and told her about it, she's like, well, that's why he owes me like $1,000, but yet he's taking you there. Like that, then all of a sudden she is now the aggressor. You see what I'm saying? Because she is kind of like killing his fun time that he had with me. And she's bringing him into the whole financial kind of like world. And the kids don't need to be there. All right. We are grown-ups. We might not be able to like each other, but we should have the intellect to be able to work together, to be able to discuss things together and stuff like that. So, I mean, putting the child in that position is not healthy, and it's just going to get worse the longer it goes for the over the years as they grow up, because then that becomes a fundamental part of building their personality, going into the future. And you want to build a solid foundation for kids to grow up and to be decent people above all else. Yeah, exactly. Being successful financially or in a career, that's all well and good. But I think when it comes to me, my main focus is to try to help the kids, be successful people as well.
Yeah, there's so many angry children in the world right now. And a lot of it has to do with home life. And I mean, everything affects people differently, right? Because some people can come out stronger from that situation, but that doesn't mean that they're not affected, right? Because, for example, someone like me, when someone meets me, they don't necessarily know that I have like issues with particular things, right? It's not something that you can tell. It's not something that, unless you know my story, you can figure out. But once I tell them what happened and like the things I've been through and the shit that I still deal with, then it's, when it comes to my parents, then it's something that's like, oh, I see. And I feel that I'm aware of the issues that I have. And so I'm able to speak about them. But a lot of people don't have that skill. It's something that takes practice. When I was younger, I didn't give a fuck about what was wrong with me. I was just like, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, what do you mean? I was very angry and defensive and took it out on everyone and didn't have like many friends because of it and things like that. So those things happen because of the issues. And of course, I'm older now, so I take responsibility for my actions and I try to, work on them. Because once you're an adult, like, you gotta fucking work your shit out. Like, you can't be like, I didn't have a daddy, so, I'm so angry. This is why. Like, yes, those things affect you. Yes, they are deep-rooted issues. But at the same time, you can work on them, right? And so if you have the means as a parent, you can also help your child with these things. Like, there's options like therapy. If you see that they're acting up in school because of the situation, you can get them tutoring. There are free services out there too that do these things. There are programs. Like, I used to go to an after school program, and that helped tremendously. Like, it's a small thing. It was a free program. I just went for like an hour after school every now and again. But like, those teachers that were there and the kids that were there, like, it kept me busy. It kept me distracted. It kept me out of trouble. Entering things like that help. It might not help the bigger issues, but it helps the day-to-day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you give them something to look forward to.
Anything that helps out dealing with emotions on the inside is going to have a positive effect on the outside. I mean, that is that whole kind of common law of cause and effect. For people who are dealing with like I said, the parents that are teaching them like bad principles, teaching your children bad principles. I got a little kind of like word of advice here. When it comes to like getting through to your child, right? You have to develop a line of trust with your child. And that means, I know we're parents and we tell children to do things, right? But to develop a strong line of trust is for you to listen to your own set of rules that you have for them. All right. So if you're telling a child, don't lie because it's bad, but they see you on the phone like lying to a bill collector or lying to their grandparents about why you can't come over or anything like that, like they're gonna realize that actions speak louder than words. And they're going to realize that you're telling them one thing but doing another. You have to get involved in your child's life, get involved in their interests. Don't just try to bring them into your interests. And when you could do that, when you can follow the rules that you're giving to them and they see this, right? And they see that you're interested in their life and their likes or dislikes, and you talk to them, you developed that line of trust. Like what happened with my son is I'm actually the one who told him to go to the counselor at school. He finally confided in me to a certain amount. He wouldn't say exactly what was going on at the house, but my consistency was there every time I saw him. He never saw me lying to anybody. He never saw me. I'm a nonviolent person. He never saw me get physical with anybody. He saw when people got mad at me and they were yelling at me, how I tried to keep the calm in a situation. And I did my best to not yell back. And just the amount of time and attention I gave to him and not swaying from the stuff I told him to do, got him to eventually listen to me and tell the counselor in school what was going on. So, it could be I know there's a lot of situations out there that are absolutely horrible when it comes to the child and then, the parent situation. But if it's not life threatening, right? And if it's something like that whole principle matter, focus on your relationship with your child when you do see them, when you do have them, kind of live by those rules. If you're telling them to not to do something, then you better not do it as well. And before you know it, you get this connection with your child that is very strong, and they will share more things with you than you ever thought they would. And they'll listen to you more. They'll listen to your advice. They'll listen to things that you have to say. And I thank God every day that my son actually did go to the counselor and try to get more help. Because I told him, I was like, dude, I love you and I want to help you. But there's only so much I can do. We need more people. And I was like, I'm trying to talk to, different DCF like counselors and stuff like that. I was like, but if this is really affecting you, you have people in school that you can talk to. You could talk to the principal, you could talk to the your guidance counselor, and they will help us out as well. And they'll help you out, and we'll try to do what's best, for mom as well. And because we kind of made that connection with each other, eventually he listened. And I thank God every day that he did that.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that there's a lot of situations in your story. There's a lot of parts that are awesome. Like you led by example. You told him you love him. You admitted to him that you needed help. Things like that are things that they're little, they're small, right? People think that they need to look strong in front of their child all the time. If you show, I'm a human and I have weaknesses too, and we need help, your child will learn from that, I think that's important.
Definitely. That's one thing I think a lot of people, when it comes to their children, they want to look like superheroes all the time. And it's not just to be that one person that they idolize, but it also helps with, when you tell them what to do, because they think you have that power and they just will try to automatically listen to you. But that was a different approach that I took as well. I wanted to let, my son know that I'm human, that I make mistakes. There was one point in time where I was so frustrated with, the interaction with his mom, going to child support court so much and stuff like that, I didn't spend a lot of time with him when he was with me. I was living, with my mom and my sister, and they would kind of take him and go do things. And I never really involved myself at that point in time. But then he came, I took him to the side one day and I was like, you're my son. If there's something that you need from me, if there's something you want from me, if there's something that I'm doing wrong, you can tell me and I will do my best to change it. And right off the bat, he told me that I don't spend a lot of time with him.
Mm.
So like you'd be surprised what kids actually do register and stuff like that. And once he said that, that it changed right then and there. I was like, I listened to what he had to say. He wanted to spend more time with me. He wanted to play games. He wanted to do this. He loves when we go out and we play football together and all this good stuff. So right from that point in time, I changed it. And that also helps with your relationship with your child as well. Cause it's like, damn, I can tell him something and he's actually not going to be like, oh, well, you got to listen to me. Or no, you're not saying the right thing. I do this, this, and this. I listened to him and I was like, you know what? You're right. I was like, and from here on out, it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And that definitely helped our relationship out greatly.
That's amazing. That's awesome. You know, I didn't exactly have that when I was younger.
Me neither.
Relationships, communication is key. You always want to try and strive to be better than your parents. I mean, even if you have great parents, you want to be better than them. You know, you always want to try and do better.
Mm-hmm. I think this was a great topic. I think that a lot of people are going through this, more people than we thought, or, you know, because we don't know your stories and we are super interested in hearing from you guys. So definitely in the comments below, let us know more information. Thank you all for sharing your stories in the chat. The live chat is also great. So if you have time to come through and chat with us live, that works too. It's super interesting to hear what everyone's going through.
Yeah, you'd be surprised when it comes to like the whole split relationship, having a child involved, and we touched in on child support and child support court, and that whole situation is pretty much an epidemic throughout the United States. And I'm not saying there aren't justified reasons to have that court and everything like that. It's just that there are so many cases that go through these courts, and so many times that a stereotype has definitely developed when it's come to the father in many states, and it's really hard to kind of break through that.
Yep, which is something that we will be talking about soon, because we do have topic number 2 for you. But for now, we will be moving on to our next segment, which I'm sure you all love. This is Girl, Let Me Tell You, where we give you our stories, and we might make you angry, it might make you laugh, it might make you cry, who knows. Luca, you want to go first, or Bot, do you want to go first?
Let's let Luca go real quick. I want to hear what she's got to say for the Girl, Let Me Tell You.
I feel like it's always something different, but let's see.
Yeah, Girl, let me tell you. So, during our off week, you guys know I deal with a lot of stuff on Twitter. I argue with people a lot. Well, I've been doing a little bit of that less lately. I've just been blocking and muting people. But every now and then, I just get a lot of nonsense. I just get a lot of nonsense. Like when that stuff in Charlottesville was happening, I made one post about it. And all I said was, wow, I can't believe it's 2017 and people are supporting Nazis. The amount of backlash I got from that post still baffles me. It still baffles me. But there was this one dude who went on like a 25 plus tweet tirade talking about like the alt-right and like Antifa and all that stuff, right? And he just kept going. And I was like, sir, I don't care, sir. And I responded to maybe 2 of his tweets. I was like, bro, I don't care. Man, I don't care. And it's like he didn't even see that I was responding to him. He just kept going on and on and on. And eventually I just blocked him and I was like, all right, whatever. And then one of my dudes, Sobsky, he was all like, Luca, he's still responding even though you blocked him. I was cackling, dude. I was like, man, what? Bruh, like, what is this? I just find it funny that people really think that I care about their fucking opinion. I still think still think that's really funny to me. Because unless, like, I say this all the time, that unless I ask you specifically, or unless we're really good friends, I don't care what you think or what you have to say about anything, especially if it's something that we don't agree on. You know what I mean? Like, I really just, I don't give a shit. And that always takes people aback. Like, this dude in MNC chat, I don't know what he said exactly. I think he was like, oh, no offense, Luca, but I find you kind of annoying. And I was like, no one cares, buddy. He was just like, oh.
I would have just said thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So it works.
Lord,
but
it's like,
like people don't, like, no one cares that you don't like me. Plenty of people like me to make up for your dislike. And you telling me that you don't like me doesn't really do anything for me or to me. Like, if you don't like me, whatever, that doesn't really have anything to do with me, buddy. Like, no one cares. And he was just like, oh. And that's all I saw from him the rest of the day. So, you know.
Wow. Let him know. Because they're never going to know unless you tell them. People just like, come on, guys. Like, who are you? You know? Come on. Let's get it together.
Oh, I got people on social media all the time. I have my biggest fan, Mr. Negative, I call him, has called me a piece of trash, piece of shit on YouTube, one of the worst YouTubers out there. Like,
he's a mess, man. He's a mess.
I sit back and I just laugh at like his responses, because it's like, dude, if you really feel like this is hitting me emotionally, dude, I don't know what kind of world you live in, but I'm having fun just like doing this little comments back to you, and this is entertainment to me, and you're the one getting pissed off in your, you know, in the front of your computer over in the corner of your room somewhere. Like, I was like, yeah, all right.
Anyhow, girl, let me tell you. So I'm on my way home, minding my business, just like on the bus, of course. Yes, on the bus. And I'm just like on my phone trying to get shit done, because I'm always busy. You know, I'm always doing something. I'm always like doing something for the show or doing something for my, you know, Twitch stuff. Like my phone, oh my gosh, thank goodness for my phone, because my phone, it seriously helps me all the time. I don't know what I would do with myself if I didn't have my phone available to like do all these little like random things that help, whatever. Anyhow, so I'm here like tired because I just got out of work, exhausted, and I'm just like click, typing something I don't remember. And for some reason, I don't know, I got on a particular bus that does not stop on the furthest avenue, which is the avenue that I live on, right? It stops on the avenue before. And so for some reason, I thought that I was on that bus. But no, I was on a different bus that takes me to another borough. And so here I am on this stop before the avenue that I live on. And I'm like, oh, okay, the bus will just take me to the next one. It's fine. No problem. No, the bus closes its doors and drives up the freaking bridge and goes all the way across the bridge. And I'm like sitting there like, this is happening? Is this real life? What the fuck? And I just look around and I'm like, yo, it takes me to another borough, right? And I have to find out where the fuck the other bus stop is to go back, and B, like, I don't know where I am, you know, like I don't know the people around here. I don't know if something goes down where I'm supposed to go, you know, what the fuck? And so I just like, Luca ends up calling me luckily around there, and I'm just like, hey, I'm kind of lost. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I missed my stop on the bus, and yeah, I'm kind of like in Queens somewhere, so like I don't know what's going on. She's like, oh my god, girl, you have to be careful. She was like, did you fall asleep? And I was like, no, I was fully awake. I'm tired, but I don't know what happened. I just thought I was on a different bus. I don't know what the fuck. I didn't have enough coffee or something. I don't know. I
think you have the problem a lot of people have. So you were looking in your phone. You thought you were in the right destination, and you just were looking in your phone while you got into the bus, and he didn't realize it was the wrong one. I've
But
seen
the
people...
funny thing is that I had to walk to another bus stop to catch that bus. So I caught that bus on the other bus stop, not the same bus stop as the bus that I usually take, right? So it's a physical thing. It's more than just like, I was just so tired that, and then when the bus stop stopped on that stop that I would have had to get off on, I literally looked out the window. I was completely aware of my decision, and I said, you know what? Today I don't feel like getting off here and walking extra. I'm just going to be lazy and get off at the next stop, right? Dude, I knew what I was doing. I made a conscious decision to stay on the bus. And that shit took me to fucking Queens. And then I had to like, okay, so not even, and then there were like weird ass people around. And I was like, oh my God, Luca, I'm going to die today.
Get your ass home right now. I was freaking out.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
man, this is not cool.
But luckily the bus stop to go back was like only like across the way, and so I was able to wait there. It took 30 minutes or something for the bus to come, so that's fucking bullshit. And then I, you know, took the bus one stop across the bridge, and then I got home, and she was like, thank God, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, but that's that.
I hate public transportation. That shit's annoying. I mean, actually, I love taking the train, but the buses are so irritating, and they take too long to get there.
Yeah, for sure. XBot, what's your girl? Let me tell you.
All right. Well, here's the deal. You ladies do this every week. So I actually went back to, you know, I reached in my bag into the past for this. So, girl, let me tell you.
Tell me.
About my first trip to my very first concert. It was years ago. There was Warped Tour going on in Connecticut, and the headliner is a little punk band called Sum 41. I was completely stoked to get there. My adopted brother Paul convinced me that we were going, and we brought our friend Sean and our other friend Justin with us, right? So I'm driving a caravan. All right, we get everybody together. I'm driving a caravan. They bring like 2 30-packs of beer into the van. So I don't think anything. I'm the one driving, right? All of a sudden, as we get on the highway, I start hearing cans crack open like nothing. And I look behind me, and Sean and Justin are going to town on these beers. I'm talking like cracking it open, kicking it back. That one's done, opening another one, right? So this is like an hour-and-a-half trip to where we're going. So for that entire time, they're pounding beers. My brother is sitting in the passenger seat pounding beers. I'm looking in the rear view mirrors and stuff for cops. I'm trying to look ahead, make sure like everything's cool. They're trying to convince me I should have a few while I'm driving up to this concert.
Oh God.
And I gotta say, peer pressure, like it was getting to me, but I was like, no, I'm good. I've driven, you know, with beer in my system before. So but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to a city I don't normally go to. I want to be straight. What happens? Not even 5 miles away from the concert on the highway, we get pulled over by a state trooper that called in another state trooper. So we were sandwiched, pulled over on the highway. This is where I think there is divine intervention in my life. You know, I swear, because like we could have gotten in trouble for open alcohol, you know, cans and stuff like that in the car. But as we're getting pulled over, the 2 completely trashed people in the back seat, like they started taking all the empty cans and hiding them, this and that, and tucking them in all different areas of the van. So we get pulled over, and the cop comes up to me, starts talking to me. I actually had to get out of the car and do a sobriety test, and they actually took my friend Sean out of the car to talk to him as well. Now, Sean, I have no clue how the hell he convinced the cop that he was fine. I don't know if he told him he was sick or something like that he just wasn't feeling well. But I left that place without a scratch, without a ticket, without anything. 2 state troopers there, and we convinced them both that everything was good. I am so happy I did not drink on the way up there. And the concert itself was the first kind of like huge rock concert that I went to, and I just had a blast, like starting mosh pits in front of Sum 41, there's like multiple venues where there's multiple bands playing at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and I just had a blast. But that first, I thought I was going to jail that night, and thank God something happened where we got let go. Yo. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good. It's good that you didn't drink. There's that.
I was like this close. I was like half an inch close. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I need to, just in case. I don't know. Something was telling me just in case. And yeah, the shit hit the fan. Like I said, like maybe 5 miles away from the concert. I was like, oh no.
Guys, don't make your friends drink while they're driving. Come on. What are you doing? Jesus Christ. Anyway, nice. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't drink. Look at that. Great example.
There's been like 3 or 4 times in my life where stuff like that has happened, and for some reason or another, at least at those points in time, I made the right decision. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's move on. We're gonna get on to our next topic, which is our more serious topic. Let's get into it. We're going to be talking about stereotypes. Now, we mentioned stereotypes earlier when it comes to court decisions for family matters. But there's more, right? There are stereotypes when it comes to race or ethnicity. There are stereotypes that come to what gender you are, or even if you don't succumb to particular, if you're non-binary, those come with, you know, stereotypes too. There's stereotypes for every situation. And what I want to talk about is what stereotypes what stereotypes are expected of you. Like, what do people expect of you when they meet you? And how do you deal with those?
Well, I know personally, first of all, I got to say thank you guys for actually for tackling this topic, and to have me on when you're doing this, because there is a lot of times, like, I've dealt with a lot of stereotypes in my life. I went to a Catholic school, so I was in that Catholic schoolboy stereotype, right? Not for anything, but being a white kid growing up in the inner city and stuff like that, I was kind of stuck in between stereotypes, like dealing with my friends' families and stuff like that. You know, like my Puerto Rican friends, my black friends, stuff like that. Like their families would only let me in so far because I'm a white guy, which was kind of weird, right? And then I had the other side of it where, like, I had a supervisor. I was working at a grocery store called Stop and Shop, working in a deli. I had a supervisor tell me, now I grew up inner city, all this good stuff, told me I didn't talk white enough. So, like, the color, in terms of stereotypes.
Yo, bro, that's relatable. I'm not black enough. I talk like I'm white, so relatable. Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, I really I do my best to smash every stereotype, even on YouTube. My name XBot, like I did that name because when this whole console war thing started, there was XBots and there were ponies, right? And those were supposed to meant to, like, they're meant to be daggers at people, like, well, you're just an XBot, or you fake Sony pony over there and stuff. And I was like, hold on. All right, XBot pony. I was like, I'd rather be called an XBot. That sounds cool. I'm into sci-fi. I like robots, shit like that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that word that's supposed to be derogatory, and I'm gonna put that in my YouTube name and make it something cool. So I like smashing through stereotypes, but I've seen it, like, throughout my life, whether, you know, it was my supervisor at work telling me that I didn't talk white enough, even though my customer service record was absolutely impeccable. They had like these little recommendation cards from customers. I clearly had triple anybody, like, who would be in second place or anything like that. The customers absolutely loved me, all this good stuff. But to my supervisor, which I found out later on was actually her son was part of a white supremacist group.
Wow.
In Connecticut called the White Wolves. So I'm like, all right, well, now I see where all this shit is coming from. But I can only get so far on multiple ladders because, you know, the color of my skin, but the way I talk being inner city, and like, I always got stopped. The ceiling always came down a little bit closer to me. And anytime I tried to talk about it, people were like, well, your skin is white. You're privileged. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, there's no stereotypes or anything racial going on with you. And it's like, you need to walk, you know, a couple miles in my shoes, and then you would definitely see what's going on. Yeah.
It's funny, right? Because those stereotypes come from the root, which is race and ethnicity. Like, people expect you to be a particular way because of the color of your skin. People expect you to be a particular way because of where you are from. But what also plays into a huge role is, into these things is class. Because if you grow up in a poor neighborhood, you most likely will pick up the mannerisms, speech, things like that, the street smarts, you know, of that area, right? But just because you're, you know, white doesn't necessarily mean that you are in a position of power. While you still do have privilege because of the color of your skin, the kind of privilege you receive is not the same as someone who has more money or is built in or is born into a family that lives in a different area or is put into different kinds of schools, you know? So that's why I feel that the generalizations that happen, i.e. stereotypes, are wrong, because not everyone fits into these boxes that we try to put them in. And while we as humans have to compartmentalize everything, right? We always have to, in order for us to think about something, we have to put it into a category, right? For example, when we grow up as children learn that there are animals in the world, and they see a dog. It has 4 legs, so they assume, okay, that's a dog. If they see another animal with 4 legs, they will assume and call it a dog until we teach them that's not a dog, that's a cat. And then they learn, okay, cat looks like this, dog looks like this, right? So they're putting things into categories in order for them to understand the world and the way it works. Because if a dog looks like this, it's going to act like this. If a cat looks like this, it's going to act like this. The dog says bark, the cat says meow, right? And so they learn in order for them to know how to react to something or how to treat something or how to understand something, or all of us, we all have to put them in categories. But what happens is that when we become adults, we become a lot more interesting and a lot more complicated, right? Just because of one thing doesn't make all of us the same, you know? And what people fail to realize sometimes is that if it were done to you, you wouldn't like it. And I think it's important to realize that we learned this when we were like, 5, right? When we're learning how to share and be nice to others. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Like all that shit. We learn that stuff when we're young. And it's something that, yes, it's juvenile, but it's something that I constantly feel like I have to remind others. You know, if you don't understand someone, or if you don't know who they are, don't assume things, you know, because the more you learn, the more you'll see, oh, this person doesn't fall into this category. And then if they do fall into that category, that's okay too. You know, there's nothing wrong with being who you are. And I don't understand why it's become such a thing, you know?
You know, Blue, I think this is one of my beliefs. I believe that this world, this society right now, the way that we're in is structured to keep everybody apart. I feel like stereotypes are actually more or less promoted when it comes to news and stuff like that, because when people come together, absolutely anything is possible. So I feel like a lot of times, you know, we're kind of taught these stereotypes and such to keep kind of like the world population divided. And I say that with things like when people talk about like the Muslim religion, right? I've seen so much hate about the Muslim religion, and I actually look into different religions, spirituality, and stuff like that. So if I see somebody going in on the Muslim religion as a hate religion, this, that, or whatnot, I'm like, well, those are extremists you're talking about. They're taking a lot of words out of context from the book that they read, which is called the Quran. And I was like, you know something, you're Christian, right? And they'll say, yeah. I was like, do you know the second most quoted prophet in the Quran is actually Jesus? And they just look at me. I'm like, yeah, you might want to look a little further into it and not just take that stereotype that you're seeing on the news right now, because that deals with what they call an extremist group. And if you look at different religions around the world, all of them have extremist groups to them. Even Christians do.
I feel like it happens often too, where people don't research anything. Right? They heard something, they think it's true, they saw it once, so they assume that it's always the same case, and then they just apply it to everything, right? But if you do a little bit of research, or if you try and expand your horizons to try and meet new people or see different examples of something that you think is happening, then you'll know that these things don't apply to everyone, right? It's super simple, but it seems as though no one wants to do the work. And I think that's what's failing us, right? Because they'll watch their favorite news, or they'll, meet that one person that does something that's negative, and then they just assume it applies to everyone. But a lot of the times, these people, or most people, live in a particular area, right? And most of the time, you'll be around the same. Most of the time, not all the time, you'll be around the same people that, like, you'll be around for example, I live in the hood. Let's just be real here, in New York City, right? And while New York City is very diverse, in my hood, in my neighborhood, there's mostly Black and Latinos. That's what you see here. Why? Because I live really close to the projects, and it is statistically true that in the projects, most people that live there are Black and Latino people, right? So I see that more, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I am the same as everyone that's here, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone here is a criminal. That doesn't mean that everyone here is into drugs, right? Or like drug addicts or things like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're all not, educated. So all those things that people assume are not necessarily true. There are people here that live here and they are freaking wealthy as fuck, but they choose to live here because they just like it. They want to spend less money, Like, where you live doesn't define you. What race or religion you were born into, or religion you choose to follow, or anything that you decide to, or not decide, because some of these things are not, you're just born into them. It doesn't define the person. We need to stop assuming those things, like, I feel like you have to get to know someone. It's important. And if you don't want to get to know that person, fine. You don't have to. Like, if they do something that you don't like, that's okay. Just don't generalize them, don't place a label on them because of one thing.
Yeah, I think that's really important and something that should be followed. Like, I'm pretty much the opposite of both of you. I grew up in a middle to upper class neighborhood, and there's more white people here than Black people. Oh, at least that's how it used to be. There's actually more Black people here now, and I'm very different from a lot of the members of my family. I didn't grow up listening to the same music as them, and I don't talk the same way as some of them. I didn't get into like sports like they did. Like, all of my cousins played basketball and were on basketball teams. I didn't get into that. When I grew up, and I would read a lot, and I related more to rock music, and most of my friends are white. At least that's how it was when I was growing up. Most of them were white. And every time I would try to hang out with the Black people at my school, they would say that, well, you're not Black enough, or you're different. And it went both ways. Like I said, there's this one time this guy in high school said that, oh, you don't talk like the other monkeys at our school.
Wow.
Right?
What?
And then, yeah. And then at my old job, I worked third shift, and I'd go down to the little cafeteria there, and the lunch lady, she was like, "Oh, so what are you?" I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "Well, you don't talk like us, so are
Oh man,
you?"
I've gotten that so many times.
Yeah. Like, you don't talk like us, so like, are you black or like, are you Latina? And I'm like, I'm black. And she's like, are you mixed? I'm like, no. I get are you mixed a lot because I'm also light skinned. So there's that. And I've had to like deal with, oh, you're not black enough like my entire life. And I'm aware of like certain privileges I have. Like I said, I am light skinned, so I have that privilege there. But it's just annoying. I mean, I'm black, like I perhaps I haven't experienced the same things as everyone else, but I can experience them. It could happen to me because I'm black. I just haven't. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So let's talk about how we combat these stereotypes. Like, what do you do specifically that makes you sort of, however you decide to deal with them? Do you ignore them? I know XBot said that he took the name and he made it into, his own thing, and he made it into a positive. So what else do you do for ones that you have to do it in person?
Me personally, I'm a thinking man. I love to try to put myself in the other shoes, the person I'm dealing with. And I also believe that you will never if you're fighting something, like ignorance, the only way to defeat it is with knowledge and wisdom. Anything that you're up against in a battle, the only way you can truly like win out on that is to use its opposite. So when it comes to like ignorance, and a lot of times people, it's ignorance is just not knowing. Okay, I don't want people to think that I'm just throwing out like making fun of people or saying names. Having ignorance is not knowing, either deciding that you don't want to know, which I think Blue said before about people just not wanting to do research and stuff like that, or pretty much just not knowing. Like a baby, when a baby is first born, completely ignorant to the world. All right, that's exactly what it is. So with like people who don't know, I try to show compassion, and I try to help them realize that there is more to this world than that those static guidelines
Mm-hmm.
or fences of separation between peoples. And there is a blending of people, especially in the United States and a lot of like countries in Europe, and more like worldwide. People are coming together of all types of races, religions, backgrounds, and stuff like that.
Right.
And the world is melting into each other, which I feel that is the right thing, the right direction for humanity. And if somebody feels like I'm in a certain type of like a certain stereotype, um now being of a calmer mind and less aggressive and less like kind of quick to get angry, which with my supervisor, I got pissed. I called her a bitch, all sorts of shit. Like I got mad when she started telling me about how I don't act white enough and all that good stuff. Like I didn't like that. Like
Mm.
I was proud of the job I did, and I didn't feel like that hand right there pushing me down was warranted. But now I take a step back, and I try to help teach people that there is more to this. It's not just because I grew up in a Catholic school doesn't necessarily mean that you know I feel like I'm smarter than everybody on every single aspect. Now, being in a Catholic school, the curriculum is harder, and you're learning stuff at an earlier date than in public schools. Like when I did go into a vocational school for high school, we're actually doing math that I had dealt with in sixth grade, which was kind of crazy. And I thought like that. I was like, well, math is a breeze now because I already learned this stuff. But it's you don't absolutely know everything. Not everything can be taught in a school book. So I try to kind of break down that stereotype as well. Yeah, they teach you a lot about numbers. They don't teach you a lot about life, though. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of let people know that that these borders aren't as thick as people kind of think they are, and we should more look at people on an individual basis and as a whole, just being, you know, a total population on this world and not divided into these things.
Yeah. For me in particular, I feel that we have, look, it is 2017. We have this thing called the internet, right?
What is that?
So, like, use it to your advantage, guys. Like, there's so many people in the world. So why not try and meet them? Why not try and meet people that are maybe dealing what you're dealing with and talk about it, right? There's groups on Facebook for everything. There's, blogs, there's YouTube videos there's what we're doing right now, this podcast. Like, there are people that understand, and there are people that can tell you and show you, right? There are resources you can use. There are books you can read. There are so many ways that you can learn about the things that you are ignorant to. And it's not an insult to be ignorant, right? It's not, if you don't know, you don't know. What is an insult is you not taking the time to figure it out, because that says a lot about who you are. If someone tells you, look, I am this, and you feel as though, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. It's not their job to teach you. That's number one. So if they don't feel like explaining it to you, then that's fine. You can go on your own and figure it out. But if they do explain it to you, then that's amazing. Maybe you'll make a friend, Maybe you can understand it from someone else's point of view. I think that it's important to realize the resources that we have and the things that we don't know, and just like take it upon yourself to maybe try to figure it out. If you still don't understand by doing some research, that's totally fine. You get some respect for actually trying to figure it out, right? Because if someone tells me, oh man, I didn't know that. Like, I tried to, find out more about it, but no, I couldn't find anything. Like, I didn't know what to search for, right? Because some of these things you can't always know how to Google, that's awesome. I can give you terms. I can tell you, like, hey, oh, okay, yeah. That's the same thing I do. If someone tells me a new term that I don't know, I try to look it up. Or I'll ask them if they feel like explaining it. But remember that sometimes it takes a lot to explain it, and sometimes that person may have to explain it multiple times a day. So they might be exhausted. So, like, it's fine. Don't get angry at someone, right? If they don't feel like explaining it to you. It's not their job to, and they don't need to. Like, no one needs to do anything, that they don't want to do. But it's just keep your mind open. I feel like if you're going to try and combat stereotypes, the best way that you can do it is to keep your mind open. If you might not realize that you are placing stereotypes on people, right? If you go by your day-to-day, try and be a little bit self-aware. Try not to get angry if someone tells you, hey, that's kind of fucked up, And on the other end of it, if you are encountering people that might not be saying things in hate specifically, but just might not know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't try to get angry at people. I try to tell them, like, you're wrong about that, right? And of course, that doesn't always go down well. Like, people don't like to be told. No. Yeah, they don't like to be told when they're wrong. So then it becomes a thing, and then I just I block people too. It's not worth it. But there are some times where people are just like, really? I didn't know that. And then it becomes an awesome conversation, which is great, I appreciate intellectual conversation.
Blue, I love what you said about, bringing up the internet and searching. And I feel with the way the world is today, all right, we have that thing called the internet out there. It's bringing everybody together so much closer that, the time for separation is completely done with. I mean, we are being brought together in terms of, with the internet. I mean, just about everybody who has cell phones, has internet on their phones and stuff like that. We are all being brought together in terms of one population. You know what I'm saying? So now for that old way of thinking that people have come up, a lot of older people I've dealt with deal with that whole kind of separation thing. But this is definitely a new world out here. All right. There's so many different, like I said, races, religions. Everybody is coming together. And there's so much more connection now than before that these borders should not exist. So if anybody is out there thinking in the ways of separation, thinking that, well, white people should only stay with white people and stuff like that. This world has made it pretty much impossible. And your way of thinking is so completely outdated now that you kind of really need to refocus your life, because I feel like now with the tools that we have and the way the world is structured, we're all coming together as just one mass population of a bunch of different unique people that bring something to the table, something to offer, something that is beneficial to everybody. And the more that happens, unfortunately, with stuff like that happened in Charlottesville and stuff like that, those people with that old way of thinking and stuff, they're gonna act out the way they've done. But the good sign is it's ending, though. You know what I'm saying? The complete structure of the world is that to which brings us together a lot more. So,
things are changing. Things are changing.
I can't wait to see what it's going to be like 10 years from now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. All right. So I think this was an awesome topic, and I feel that, of course, we didn't get to speak about everything, but there are comments below for you to let us know how you feel. Tell us your stories. Tell us how you combat stereotypes. Tell us how, you feel about them, and let us know your insight, because we love to hear that stuff. We comment back, and we want to hear from you guys. So
Blue,
keep us posted.
Blue,
Yes.
If I can I just say one more thing on this, because it was something I wanted to say, that with me, growing up where I grew up and having the color skin that I have been put in such awkward situations. Like, I basically got adopted by like a Puerto Rican family. Like I was friends with my friends Mike and John, and to the point where I was so cool with them that we were hanging out every day together. Their mom loved me, their little brother, cousins, aunts, uncles. Like I would be invited to like family gatherings, all this good stuff, right? But with there was a couple instances where me, Mike, and John would take like one of our friends home that lived in like the really bad part of the city and stuff like that. There were times where after we dropped them off, we would come out. I remember this one instance, we actually got pulled over by the cops. Talk about an awkward situation. The cops literally took Mike and John out of the car, searched them down for drugs and everything like that. I was the one driving, right? They didn't even look in my direction.
Wow.
And then they let my friends back in the car, and I was left for some reason or another. Like they were looking at me like, what happened there? And I'm like, I don't have an explanation. That's not, I didn't do anything. It's not like I slipped the cop like a $50 bill and said, don't deal with me, and so that's another thing where I was put in like that awkward situation, because people thinking, the color of skin, you have certain privilege. Even if stuff like that does happen, then all of a sudden I have my friends looking at me like, well, what the hell just happened there? I was like, well, obviously those guys were fucking racist. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So that's the thing, right? In that particular situation, that's where your privilege shows. That the cops felt because of the color of your skin, they didn't need to search you. And by privilege, it's not only like money or, education, or it's that. It can be as simple as that situation right there. And it's hard when you're in your friend's position not to feel some sort of like, animosity towards you, because they feel like they were attacked basically because of the color of their skin or the way they looked or the way they dressed, right? And it's not your fault, obviously, but at the same time, you have to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, I was treated differently because of this, and they were treated differently because of this. And then if you realize it and you acknowledge it and you just, you just say like, guys, like, yeah, I mean, that's fucked up,
Yeah,
nothing
that's
more.
what I said. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, I was kind of like dumbstruck myself. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? and of course, you know, I had my boys kind of looking at me like I have some explanation, and it's the explanation that was in their head as well, and now I'm left like stuck out there like a sore thumb, and it's like, well, guys, you just got to realize that I'm not the one who did any of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a fucked up situation for sure. Yeah, which leads us to our next segment. This is Fuck That Shit, where we tell you a little rant maybe about the stupid shit that we go through. Let's see. Do you want to go first, XBot?
Sure. Why not? You know, I'm not known for ranting pretty much, but I gotta say, when it comes to something like this, I gotta say the parking in front of my house, man, fuck that shit. Yo, I live in I have a small street, right?
Yeah.
And there's no parking on one side of the road. So everybody that lives here on both sides of the road has to park on the side that I live on. And I swear to God, I will go out there. Now, you guys know Snaps works late at night. She takes the car, goes to work and stuff like that. Sometimes she's not home until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then when I go to the porch and I look down, because we're basically second floor in an apartment building, I look down and I see people with half a car length in between each car. And it frustrates the hell out of me, yo. Make Snaps park like 3 blocks down the road on a busy ass street. Have to have her kind of walk up the hill to come to the house, when all people had to do was learn how to park and respect other people that lived here, man. I'm talking about, I am ready to go out there with a sign saying I will give, parking school, like parking lessons on how to do this. If you don't know how to parallel park, I will help you out. But come on, guys, when it comes to, everybody parking on the street, let's get together. Let's work together. Otherwise, fuck that shit.
Yeah, that sucks. My fuck that shit this week is the fact that people, you post a picture on Twitter and you're just like, oh yeah, new profile pic, cute, whatever. Yeah, I don't appreciate, guys, listen, if I post a picture, please don't take that picture, post it, and say, this is my girlfriend. Like, what are you, what the fuck? Guys,
that was my, that was my alternate account. I did it to troll you.
Yeah, I would believe that. But it's happened multiple times. Different places. Just like, listen to me. I know that it might be like funny maybe to you, or I don't know, maybe you're serious about it. But like, the fuck are you doing? That is my photo. Thank you. And you can admire it, okay? Yeah, sure, I appreciate that maybe, but like, don't be a creep. Come on. Like, I am not your girlfriend. I am nothing to you. All right? Let's get that straight. So I'm going to just ask, like, PSA, public service announcement. Don't fucking take pictures and, like, claim somebody that you don't even know. Okay? Okay. Fuck that shit. Luca?
My fuck that shit is people who don't seem to understand my sense of humor at this fucking point in my life on Twitter. This junction in my life. It's like that terrible Death Note movie. I watched it with a couple of friends. That shit was funny as hell. And I made a post on Twitter where I was like, hey, anyone who says anything positive about this movie, I'm blocking them. Now, I said that shit as a joke. Obviously, that's a joke. Why would you block someone over something that's stupid? And yet I actually got people who were like, well, don't hate me, but I liked the movie, and I really enjoy. I'm like, first of all, you didn't have to tell me anything about the movie. You don't have to tell me you like it. Like, first, why would you tell me you like the movie when you know I don't like it? Second of all, why would you say don't hate me? Who cares how I feel towards you if you like a fucking movie or not? Like, that's so stupid to me. Don't be concerned about how I feel about you over some dumb shit. Like, I don't care if you like this movie
Luca,
or not, you know?
they love you.
Oh my God.
They
like,
want to
yeah,
know like that you love
oh,
them back.
oh my God. Like, I really don't give a shit if you like this movie or not. I
Oh
really
my
don't.
God.
And then some other people like to like think it's cute to just do the opposite of what I say, right? Or
Mhm.
post the opposite of what I say. Like, oh, I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And then someone's like, well, I do, and here's why. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care, okay? I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't care. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying I don't fucking care before people realize that they should just stop sending me messages that are just like, well, I like this, or I don't like this thing that you like. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I really don't. Good
Hey,
for
Luca.
you.
They just want to
Like, what's
hear
up?
you rant about them. That's it.
Oh my God.
Luca, I liked Death Note.
Listen, sir, you also kept sending me that Sonic shit, so fuck you. I mean, like,
Oh
it's,
damn, I'm guilty. Holy shit.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm talking about people who, like, aren't my friends. Like, you're my friend, XBot, so I don't care. I know you're just fucking with me. But, like, those people who, like, deliberately go out of their way to just be like, well, I like this. I don't give a fuck, okay? Like, I'm sorry. I'm not here to build your fucking self-esteem or to listen to you or to pretend like I care. I'm sorry if your mommy and daddy lied to you and said that your opinion actually matters, because it doesn't. It doesn't matter in every situation. I don't know who fucking lied to you, but it doesn't, sir or madam. I don't give a shit. And third of all,
There is no third of all.
I'm like, there is no third of all. I don't fucking care about your opinion. Unless you're my friend or I ask you specifically what you think about something, do not at me with your opposite opinion, because my response will be,
I don't give a fuck.
do not care. Okay?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I don't give a
Like,
don't give-
I really don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Also, develop a goddamn sense of humor, please. Please. Thank you.
Wow. Nice. Okay. Wow. Let's move on. This is But Why Though? Where we give you a little piece of the shit that we have to go through, like the people that we meet and the stupid shit that they do. I don't understand why. Let's see who wants to go. XBot. Let's hear your But Why Though this week.
Well, see, it's not even about stupid people. Like I said, I live in a house that is incredibly interesting, and I think it's because me and Snaps do live streams and stuff like that. But the 9-year-old twins, especially that one Seth that I was talking about before, they believe that they are like YouTubers in the making. I think they are too. But there are points in time when like Seth will be on his cell phone playing a game, and he'll have a headset on, and he goes in on the game with commentary like he is doing a YouTube video at that point. And the funny thing is, he makes it sound like he's been playing the game forever. He's like, yeah, today I'm going in on this, and I am the absolute best at it. And I look at him like, dude, but why? But why? Like, you don't have to act like you have been there time and time again. He is crazy talented. But like when I walk into the room and I hear him doing his commentary, the first thing I think is, but why though? Why? Like you just downloaded that game. You act like you're a veteran. This is best ever. I am number one in the world. I was like, no, dude, you're not number one in the world. Calm down. But we definitely have to get him to make more YouTube like videos actually, because it's hilarious, yeah.
My But Why Though this week. So can someone explain to me why I was walking to work and I was cutting through the projects, because there are a set of projects across the street from my job, and I'm walking and all of a sudden I see a bag on the floor and I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't step on this, because guess what? There was poop inside of it. Yeah. People think it's cute to throw shit out of the window, and like, I don't know why, but I see diapers and I see fucking like a bag of shit though. A literal bag of shit on the ground, thrown from the window, because you can tell that it was impacted. What the fuck are you guys doing? Can you not? Like, but why? Why would you throw a shit bag out of the window? Like, I don't understand. What the fuck is happening here? If someone would have stepped on that and fucking slipped, like, they would have had poop all over their legs and their fucking ass and their, like, everywhere. Like, why? That's so fucked up. Can you not throw bags of shit out of the window? Thanks.
Ew.
Like, take care of where you live, people. I am so sick of that bullshit. Every single time I walk through the stupid projects into work, or if I go to the projects to visit somebody and that shit looks like fucking disgusting. Like, you guys need to take care of where you live. I'm so sick of that shit. Like, what the fuck? We don't have as many people down here cleaning for us, you know? Like, you need to take care of it yourself. There are garbage cans, people. There's a fucking garbage chute in the projects. What are you doing? You're that lazy that you're going to throw it out the window? Oh, my God, I'm done. I can't. Anyhow, but why?
But why, though?
I don't know if it was baby poop or grown-up poop. It just looked like poop without a diaper in a bag. So you take that for what you will. I don't know who the fuck did that. But, like, y'all got issues. I'm just saying. All right. Let's move on.
Is Luca gonna follow that?
So here is our little segment where we tell you where to find us. Let's tell you a little bit of where to look for us, and of course the links will be in the description, but it's always good to let you know. XBot, where can we find you?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It has been an absolute blast. The whole stereotype thing, I gotta say again, thank you for tackling that, because I feel like I have not had a venue to truly kind of like share my thoughts and opinions on that because of stereotypes. Like, I was automatically put into that box where I can't talk about this stuff because I lead an absolutely privileged life. If there's a bank account with like 6, 7, or 8 zeros in my name, I have no idea where it is. But if we do get that with having, white color skin, I need my account number. But to find me, it's real simple. Everything is XBot448. I do have a YouTube channel where I deal with gaming news, live streams, just basically a whole kind of like gaming industry type channel. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. You can find me on Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation Nation, all under the same tag, XBot448. And again, this has been a blast.
We really enjoyed you being here. I'm so glad that you came on the show. You had so much to say, and we appreciate your insight into all of these topics. And we appreciate you coming through and always listening for us. That means a lot to us.
Oh, you ladies have a great show. I love seeing like the evolution of a show. Like, it starts off one way and then you just see it just take this direction and its a life of its own. And I really feel like Speak definitely has a life of its own. I love the direction the show is going, and you guys are just getting better and better each and every week, and I'm glad to be a part of the community.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Luca, tell us where we can find you.
Hey, you can find me at TheAshenLuca on Twitter, and then you can find me on RDX Podcast. It's Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Dealer Gaming's channel. I just want to say thanks so much to everyone in the chat who always comes through. We appreciate you, and it means a lot seeing you guys.
We really do. And, of course, I'm Blue, and you can find me on Twitch. I do lots of gaming streams, and you can...
I wasn't done yet, by the way.
What?
I paused to think.
You paused to think? Really?
Okay. I saw someone. Thank you, William. I don't have time to do YouTube during the week. I'm busy. So, but maybe one day. Also, I just want to say thank you so much, XBot, for coming on. XBot's one of my brothers. I got mad love for him, and also mad love for his wife. So, I was happy that he agreed to come on, and I'm like I said, happy you came through.
You can't. I was waiting for the invite. I saw some of the the.
He was so patient.
Yeah, I saw some of the special guests, and I'm not trying to downgrade any. I love the people you have had on the show. I was like, but man, when is it my time? Like, what the hell? I've been waiting for any type of DM or something like that. So yeah, that's how much I like the show. It's like, damn, I really want to go in and it's good to talk about life. Like, I talk about gaming so much throughout the week, and on Twitter people ask me questions about gaming and stuff, and I do research and I dabble into so many other things that it's good to actually have a show and come on and talk about that.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. I really do. And I'm so glad that we had a lot of people in the chat talking to us and letting us know. And thank you for being patient with us.
You can, Luca, you got to ask O Snap. So like every week I'm like, all right, this is going to be my time. It's going to be my time. No.
Well, you finally got it. You got it. And it was great. And we loved it. Nice. Luca, you going to cut me off again, or like, can I go?
No, you can go. Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. What was I saying? Oh, I'm Blue, and you can find me on Twitch. And what was I saying?
You know, and also another thing.
Oh my God! You're so mean to me. You see, guys? You see what I'm talking about? No, but no, yeah, I'm on Twitch. I'm everywhere. I mean, I have a Discord, guys. If you guys want to join, the link is below. We talk about lots of things. And I do anime night if you're interested. Also, we are opening the floor to you guys to hear from you. So make a little voice recording and email us and tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about what you think about the show, or just give us a rant. If some stupid shit happened, record that shit and tell us how you feel and send it to our email, which will be down below. And like, yeah, follow us on Twitter so you can see our updates, because we definitely update a lot on Twitter. And I think that's all. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, XBot. And
anytime. I can't wait for my next appearance.
Definitely will be happening, I'm sure, because we have so much more to say. And I'm sure you do too.
I could talk your ear off for like 5 hours straight. No problem.
All right, guys. So we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.